Hey, good evening. How we doing, Jamie?
Doing good, Clay. Good evening.
Just jamming out to the music intro there. My
Oh
God.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
fellow MV, Brian's on. We want to say
Right
hi to
on.
Brian. Want to say hi to Kevin out there in Pennsylvania. Not sure Eric's going to make it tonight. He has a steer that's been getting out. It sounds like tonight's the last time, so he might be busy butchering. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, there's only so much of that you can take sometimes, just like
Uh,
anything.
yeah, last time I saw him butcher something, I don't do it that way, but hey, he almost hunts it down, then butchers it. What the hell?
Whatever works, right?
Oh, he's
Oh,
on.
there he
See?
is.
Man, I was just talking about you. Got service at butcher site. Well, maybe we can keep you entertained there while you're cutting up some beef.
Oh, all right,
Well,
man.
I suppose we better get this baby rolling and start it out with the Second Amendment. You want to go for it? You want me to do it tonight?
Go for it, Clayton. I hit it last week.
All righty, guys. Second Amendment. Well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And we start each and every show off that way because it is that important to me. It's the most important, and the second protects them all. So we started off each and every
You
show.
bet. Hey, Lynette. Hello, fellow patriot. Good seeing you here
Yeah,
tonight,
good to
as
see you,
usual.
Lynette. So
All right.
I got to show you a few things. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like show and tell back in school, right?
Yep.
So one of my favorites is the Ruger SP 101.
Oh, beautiful. My mom has one of those.
I
Awesome.
mean, it's a Ruger, and I like my Ruger revolvers. They're just real strong frames. They're great. They handle great.
Mhm.
I don't know. They've always fit me good. I actually bought this for Danelle, but and she's carried it before. She likes it. She would put 38s through it or 357
Mhm.
mags.
Oh, yeah, 38. That's like a kitten.
Oh yeah, it doesn't even do nothing. It's just more fun to shoot that Obama target I got out there. Oh, I shouldn't say that. My presidential one. Anyway, but the nice thing I like about it is, I bought it at Mandan Sporting Goods, and this is long before you and I were doing this. I was still an NRA rep. We were doing an
Mhm.
event in Flasher. I know I got to talking with him, and yeah, we made it happen. So I was supporting Brandon a long time ago, long before he came on board. And
Oh, yeah.
service is
Awesome.
just as good as it was then. So yeah.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, that's you go. I got
There we
best pistol I
go.
ever had in my life. Smith and Wesson 9mm 2.0 5-inch barrel, 17 round capacity. I put that. I can't even remember the name of that trigger offhand, but that thing's sweet. It's like 2.5 pounds. This
Well,
thing's
I noticed one thing.
sniping pistol.
We've seen that appear in some videos many times.
Yeah.
As a coach, you're deadly with that thing. Well, I did
I
bring
never
one
did
other
do.
one. I mean, I'm gonna
I
see if
like
any
that.
hell about this. I don't know. I mean, it's a 22 mag, guys. You can't go wrong with it. You can palm
Right.
it. No one sees it coming. To me, it's a great actual self-defense gun.
Saturday night special.
Saturday night special. And you look in there, they got some Hornady V Maxes.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I like that.
I love that gun. I carry that one a lot, along with other ones. Probably some that I carry in the old 2, sometimes 3 guns. But they're not all big guns. But
Mm-hmm.
anyway, that's what I like to carry, and it'll do the job. So anyway,
Yeah, works for me. Well, should we get started here, Clayton?
we should. We got a pretty good lineup tonight. We're going to talk some AR news about Newsweek, AR-15.
Yeah.
Talk about the prairie dog shooting. It is right. I mean, it's good now. I tell you what, I know the dogs are out
Harvesting
there.
season.
Harvesting season. Guns and gear. I'm probably gonna. I bet. I took a stab. I figured you'd probably do it more of the gun part of it, and I'm gonna actually really talk more about gear. So I should work out pretty
Sounds
good.
good.
And then, of course, the Illinois. David Fetting sent us this from 1760. He said, "Hey, you guys hear about banning guns on public lands?" Oh, I hadn't heard nothing. We found out it actually happened in Illinois. So all you people who love public lands, you're going to want to listen to this. This is what they do to you when you have the public lands. Of course, and we got our Second Amendment bullet points, and then of course, Jamie's got his happy ending of the week.
Happy ending, baby, coming from Tejas.
Hey, man, Dan Sporting, it's good to see you.
Hey,
Glad
Brandon.
We're proud to have him on as a sponsor. We want to also
Absolutely.
thank Lauer Auto Repair down there on South Washington, 701-258-6308. And of course, the blind guy of North Dakota. You're going to find anybody better, guys, than these 3 sponsors. Second Amendment
That's right.
oriented, and they love freedom and our way of life. So get out there, support them. If you buy something, tell them you heard it right here in Guns in the 701.
What does Marty's comment say? That it's under.
That's a chin gun play. What was I just talking about?
That's exactly what you told me before the show started, Clay.
That's what I said, Marty. It's perfect, and I wouldn't want to get hit by that. It's pretty much over.
No. Why don't you start us off here with this Newsweek article, Clay? What they're saying.
And I got something going on in my eye tonight. Anyway.
Uh-oh.
So I guess I got two articles here. I got one from the Newsweek deal, and then of course I got the one that talks about essentially Alabama's Representative Barry Moore. He's a big supporter, of course, of the Second Amendment. Well, you know what he wants to do, or what is going to do? He's going to have the National Gun of America bill. He's literally going to introduce this into Congress. I didn't go check if he did it yet. I hope he did, because how awesome is that? He goes, and here is his quote: "The Second Amendment is as American of a right as freedom of speech, religion, and press." Moore wrote on his Twitter, "Today I unveiled my bill to make the AR-15 the national gun of America. We must send a message that we will meet every attack on any of our constitutional rights." Holy cow, right? Man, now there's a representative.
Man crush.
I really don't see it. And Kelly's been good. Representative Armstrong been good on the Second Amendment, but I don't see him being that bold and take that kind of a stance.
No, probably.
Where he would introduce something like that. Will it make it through the Senate? Yeah, doubt it. And of course, Biden would.
I don't care. I want it. Let's see a vote.
I don't know why these guys are afraid to introduce legislation just because it won't make it through. I love the idea. I mean, the AR-15 is probably one of the most iconic firearms right now in the United States. It's very much unique. World too. I mean, it's
not an AK. Probably 1 and 2 in my opinion.
Yeah, AK is pretpretty recognizable.
Hey, we got a thumbs up for my new ticker color change, Clay. Thanks.
Did you? All right. There it is. It's definitely bold, and hey, red is, of course.
I told Clay we're going to leave that up there for President Trump. He's kind of under fire, so we're putting that up there for the.
There we go. I'll put this up here. Love the new color. Easy to read there.
Yeah,
and Keith, he's chiming in. I bet the libs just melted down.
They're just starting, Keith. Trust me, they're just starting.
Can you imagine?
So he's got some co-sponsors too. He's got Lord Bobert, Andrew Clyde, who I'm not aware of, and George Santos, which I think he's from Florida actually. I see him. Remember, he's at the commercial there. He's got the pins, the AR-15 pins he was showing off. So
okay, yeah. And
I wish our guy was on there, but so Moore actually announced he was going to do this bill from the Sonny Parker, his gun shop, owner of Family Firearms down there in Georgia, or not Georgia, but Alabama. Sorry, hey, don't kill me. I know you got SEC football. Don't mess it up.
There it is, right there.
Yep,
there he is. American, and that's what he said about the AR, and that's where he did it. That's that gun shop right there.
So not everybody's as happy about it as we are, Clay. This Tom Wallen, no relation to Morgan Wallen, I'm guessing, because Morgan Wallen's a right winger.
Right.
He's a politics associate professor at Boston University, and he's comparing this plan to designated Ted Bundy as the official serial killer of the U.S.
Oh, shit. See, this is how insane libs are. They
So here, I'll read this here, and then we'll break it down a little bit. He says, the attempt to declare the AR-15 America's national gun is the latest example of the veneration of firearms, veneration by a section of the U.S. right. Conservative groups now sell flags and T-shirts emblazoned with the rifle, often combined with the, quote, combative slogan, "Come and take it," whilst AR-15 pin badges have been worn by a number of Republican lawmakers in Congress. It's increasingly clear that the AR-15, like the Russian AK-47 among third world revolutionaries before it, has become more than just a gun. It's a political symbol.
You know what? I agree. It's a political symbol.
Hey, Clay, we agree with the liberal on something.
Yeah, I mean, there it is, right there.
See, we're open-minded, man. We can compromise.
Maybe we need to get some pins.
Yeah. I love that.
Well,
I love that.
One thing we are doing we're a little bit ahead of this curve right here. Why don't you tell them about that? As long as we're talking about AR.
Yeah.
And yes,
So,
guys, I realize that the verbiage is a little bit different. But
Yeah.
for our podcast people, why don't you go ahead and tell them what we got here, Jamie?
So I went out to Axel's one shooting, and he actually had a shirt with something this effect on it. If you're all familiar with Luke 22:36, and Jesus told his disciples at the Last Supper, I'm not going to quote it exactly, but if you don't have a sword, sell your cloak and your purse and go buy a sword.
Yep.
So and we're having Rick Knodel there at Signs of Wonders is making us up some decals here. And if you're watching now, and it says, and Jesus said, if you don't have an AR-15, sell your garments and buy one. Luke 22:36, and on the bottom's our website. There's a nice picture of a Smith & Wesson M&P 15 on there, and they outline a North Dakota on there, and I know kind of the lighter colored United States flag in the background. So
yeah.
I just kind of made one up, like a cheesy one, like a meme, and I put it on our Facebook page, and I got pretty good reception from it. And I figured this thing will be pretty sweet. And Rick does some awesome work down there at Signs of Wonder, so I'm probably gonna be picking these up in the next week or so. And if anybody's interested in one, go ahead and if you know me, send me a text or send me a message there at jd@gunsinthe701.com. They're gonna be $5. I know, $5. Well, hey, these are top-notch decals. These babies got like a I can't remember if 3 or 5 year no fade. They're quality. They're not some cheesy thing that's gonna that's gonna fade out. But
they're just like the decals he made us earlier. The ones like what?
Yeah, right. Rick made Clay's sign in the back and mine back here too. They're freaking awesome. But
Rick's been fantastic.
Yeah.
Rick, go down to Signs and Wonders because they're right there on Airport Road, and I love the fact I can do business, that we can do business with a conservative constitutionalist who supports what we do. I'm so sick and tired of giving my money to people that don't support us or actively fight against us. So that's why I love it. Yeah. So he's getting a free plug tonight, but that's okay.
Yeah. Now what's he, Randy? Hey, my buddy Randy Mossick coming here. What's he got down there?
Let's see. He goes, most people don't even know how their reps vote. Boy, right. That's it's sad.
Yep.
But
well, and he was saying what we did. Let him vote and let's find out who supports it. Have to find out who's on our side. That's right. And the Chinese did not invent it.
Like, and then the Chinese did not invent it.
Yeah,
I know where that's coming from.
So anybody listening, I'll get a little ahead of the game on that. Yeah. This guy called into it's not what's on your mind. I'm sorry, Daryl and Todd. What's the name of it, Clay? Morning show on 550. Boy, I feel like an idiot right now.
My mind right now.
Anyways, he called in.
Daryl's new show.
Daryl, yeah.
Oh my goodness!
This guy called in and said all these mass shootings are being done with Chinese-made AR-15s. Your talk. I'm sorry, Daryl. Your talk. Hey, Daryl said nobody heard of our show when I was on either, so I'm going to give him a shot. Yeah, your talk. What, Joel on there? Yeah. But the guy called in and said all these mass shootings are being done with Chinese-made AR-15s, and I was like, Chinese-made AR-15? Never even heard of such thing. I know they make parts and that. So I called in and was kind of talking to Daryl and Todd about it. Well, then today the guy calls back in and says, hey, I sent you a link, Daryl. I bet you didn't look at it. And I did, and then he said, you can go right on, look it up, and buy this thing online. So I was looking, and I admitted, I called in and said, hey, the guy was right. They do make these things, but I've never so much as heard of one, and I've looked at site. I can't find one for sale anywhere. And I called Brandon at Mandan Sporting Goods. I called a couple other gun shops, and not one place has ever heard of these. Clay and I know a guy, he's an FFL. He's never heard of it. Watched a video on YouTube, Larry Vickers. He said these things are almost virtually unknown in the United States, but
they do.
We're going to do a whole,
but yeah.
So they are a thing. Man, we're going to talk about it Friday on Mitchell in the Morning, 840 on KFYR 550. We're going to do a whole segment on it and get it all straightened out about this. So
little precursor, but I mean, him and I both worked the phones today, just trying to find out what this very well-informed caller was talking about.
All of them. Kenny thinks their ticker's pink. Nah, Kenny, it is your eyes. It's red.
It's red.
Hey, Trav, what's up, buddy?
And Doug, you're right. shop local, buy local.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like down at Lauer Auto Repair. Go down to Lauer Auto Repair. And
Right
I'll tell you
on.
what, with them 80 and 90-degree days we already had, I hope that everybody's air
Well, it's going
conditioning
to get
working
cold
good.
again now.
Especially up your way. I don't think it's going to get as cold here.
Yeah.
You guys might even get snow, I seen. What the heck?
Yeah, 1 to 3 here by Friday, I guess, and of course the wind. So,
hell, we're getting the wind.
All right, Clay, let's keep going here with this Newsweek thing and how the AR-15 has become a symbol of the right here. So we left off on this guy who, saying, this is Ted, like putting Ted Bundy as the official serial killer. So go ahead.
Believe that. Can you just, that one blows my mind. I mean, talk about go to the extreme just to piss off someone. I mean, that is triggered right there.
Oh, yeah. He got triggered hard on that one.
When I was looking at, I don't know which article you're reading, but I've got the Newsweek one here about when they talked about
that's one
basically the AR, and it was how it was developed. And they're right. I mean, they got some of these things right. It was developed, Armalite developed it in the 50s. Then there's an upgrade to an AR-10, which we all know is I've got one sitting back here. It's chambered in 308.
They lost the patent there in the 70s, and that's kind of when it's like the initial blow up was then because all these other companies started making it. It's still called the AR-15, and they talked to this Chris Waltz, president of AR-15 Gunners of America, and he figures it's popular because it's simple, light, easy to modify, accurate, lightweight and simple to use, which I agree, and totally customizable. I mean, I can still remember the first time I shot an AR. I was down at the Bismarck gun range. Young guy was down there. He was back from Iraq, and he had a Bushmaster, and I started talking to him. He let me shoot it, and man, I got to tell you, as soon as I shot it, I was like, I'm buying one of these things. These things are freaking awesome. So,
and I was never I never owned my first AR until Obama got in office. That's no kidding. Not that I had anything against him. I just never had an inclination to have one, right? But after that son of a bitch took office, I figured, oh, great. And we weren't wrong, even though it's way worse now, I think. But,
and that's what we're going to get into right here is the Newsweek is kind of pretty much saying they're interviewing some of these. I'll give them credit. I mean, Newsweek's usually pretty leftist, but they're pretty, in their terms, open-minded about this. But that's what they're saying. Basically, the reason people on our side, Clay, are big AR supporters and people, buying them. I mean, Democrats are just always trying to ban this thing, blaming the gun for everything, blaming this particular gun.
Yes.
And we're just pushing back on it because, we're like, the gun doesn't make you kill people.
No, it ain't the gun. It never has been the gun. This idea, of course, I hate the term gun violence. That's something they came up with.
Yeah, it's not true.
Climate change. They couldn't win with what they were using, so change the terminology. And now everything's gun violence. Well, I don't know. I'm pretty sure that if I take something and beat you with it, even beat you to death, I assaulted you, and it's probably pretty violent. So, I mean, it's just a stupid term.
Well, I mean, and ironically, you'd say that guess what? The more people die from beatings by clubs, hands, and feet than they do by AR-15s.
Yep. So Kevin out there in Pennsylvania says the M16A1 was the first 5.56 that he ever shot back in 1981. And that's so, I guess we'll go through this a little more, but the AR being the symbol of America, good, bad, there's some there's some negative press, especially from the left of it, but it has become a statement. It is a political statement. It's a big old middle finger to the left because it's just another platform. It's just another firearm. To those of us that understand this, it's not anything that's any different than any other semi-auto, honestly. It functions like any other semi-auto. To me, and I've always said this, think about the things you can add to it quite quickly and quite easily to make it comfortable and more accurate. To me, accuracy is everything when you're shooting and control. You need to have control of your firearm. You better know where it's shooting. You better know what it's doing. To me, all these things that the AR does make it just easier for the person to absolutely have control of that firearm and know what they're hitting and make sure that they're making good, clean shots or good, clean kills if they're out hunting. To me, it's just it's a safety thing. It really is.
Yeah,
it's
low
probably the
recoil.
safest gun out there that you can shoot, as far as I'm concerned.
Yep. Well, for hunting, like I said, my youngest daughter is going to use it to shoot a deer this fall because that's her favorite gun that's suppressed. I mean, she shot my bolt actions and semi-automatics and single shots and whatnot, but that's easily her favorite. That's easily your full auto 9 iron trap.
I had to put that. I started laughing.
Oh,
It's full
yeah.
auto baseball bat. No, it's an assault. Paint it black. It's an assault bat.
So they got a big thing here. How you know, the AR is infamous because it's been used in these bigger massacres. You know, and they go through a few of them, the 2016 Pulse nightclub, Sandy Hook, and, you know, Uvalde. I mean, take that away, and I can add one, Clay, way back in 1966, 15 killed, 31 wounded. That was with the Remington ADL, 6mm, 4-round capacity blind magazine, Remington bolt action. Okay. So this mass shooting stuff's not new. It's just far more prevalent now, and it just so happens that, you know, I think a lot of these people, these young people who do this, they played video games probably, and that's the gun that was in there. Like, 'cause my daughter plays video games on her phone with other kids, and ARs are in there, shotguns. She's like, "Dad, look at this gun." I'm like, "Yeah, okay."
Well, my boys are no different. Some of them games they play, and well, hell, I've even played Call of Duty. I had to play it once to see what it was about. I can see why they know what all these guns are, because they're all things they can use in these games. The big thing is they gotta make sure that they're differentiating from real life to a video game. Mine are fine with it. My kids have grown up with firearms their entire life, shooting the real ones, never been scared of them. Always have had the respect because I taught it to them. So
you know, Clay,
I think I'm gonna have any trouble, but
I never even was that. I mean, I seen AR-15s and whatnot in gun shops and in Shields and all these other places I went to, but until Clinton and the Democrats banned them, put the assault weapons ban, I honestly never gave it a second thought. I'd walk by them and be like, "Wow, look at that thing."
Oh yeah, I was the same way. I saw them there. I thought they were cool. I seen some of the neat things they were doing with them. That's really, in the last 20 years, wow, the things that you can have on an AR and do with an AR, it's just went leaps and bounds. But how American is that? The government comes out and says, "We're taking this away from you," and the people say, "You know what? Kiss our butt."
Yeah, and
we're going to get one. We're going to get more of them. We're going to make more. We're going to make them better, and we're going to keep having them.
And contrary to their lies, firearms homicides did not go down after they banned them. Neither did mass shooting. So
from 1994 to 2004, under the assault weapons ban that they passed, it didn't make anything. Nothing they promised, you know, to their leftist utopian idea of gun control. None of it was true. None of it came true. Yeah. And then when it expired, again, nothing came true. I think the big thing you see now is the change in the media.
And people's attitudes, young people's attitudes they don't get what they want. They flip out.
But if you look at some of John Lott's stats, and I always love referring John Lott Jr. because he's an expert in this. I mean, that's what he does. And he found that here, actually, the quote mass shootings, they've went down, especially in schools. But they report, I guess.
Well, if you count real mass shootings, not the way they report it now.
They reconfigured how they reported it, so that made it worse.
Yeah, but like gangs, and they're counting children as people from 1 to 19, and
yes,
they tweak the stats. Yeah, we got a few
sound worse, but.
Few comments up here. Randy, I actually saw this deer. His son had bought my youngest 6.5 Grendel an AR, shot his first deer at the intershoot. He's sure it was his father's tutelage. I've been hunting with Randy a few times. He's pretty good offhand shot too, and he did that with his 308 AR. But yeah, I saw his son's deer with a nice whitetail and had a hell of a shot on it there. And hey, Kenny, Schumer, I agree with you. You can do it with something a lot less than that.
Yeah, Kenny, he points out, he says he made a comment, "No one needs 30 rounds to shoot up a school." Chuck Schumer, that was his quote. And that was his quote. You're right. You don't need 30 rounds. You don't even need 20. I can tell you right now, I can go in there with a shotgun, 2 shotguns.
Yeah.
And do a lot of damage.
I mean, I've pointed it out many times. I'm not going to rerun the same.
No.
But yeah, whatever. But I mean, that's just their way of doing it. And
that makes a good point. The news is everywhere. You're right. News is so accessible. Fake news or real news, it's accessible everywhere, between the internet, on television, 24-hour news stations. And when she said she's growing up, there were 2 channels. It wasn't much different for me. I mean, when we finally got cable, we had a few more, but otherwise we had literally 3 channels and public broadcasting. So
well, Clay,
that was always available.
I'm going to read a few more things here, and then we're going to have to do our first commercial break. So they got here's another one of these leftist professors here. We can get a kick out of it here. There's Professor Carolyn Gallagher, an expert on, quote, paramilitary groups and the U.S. religious right. Wow, really? You need an expert on those two things? Okay, she told Newsweek that guns have developed into a key identity marker for conservatives, distinguishing them from their liberal opponents. Now, we were distinguished from them long before guns. Asked whether the proposal to designate the AR-15 as America's national gun could get wider support within the GOP, she replied, unfortunately, yes.
Wear that like a badge of honor.
Just witnessed a plethora of Christmas cards from Republicans posing with their family members, including children, holding guns. It's become so normalized that they show pictures of their guns and not their pets. Guilty as charged, Miss Gallagher, and proud of it.
Absolutely. I think I know it. Well, we've done a little of that, but I think we're going to have a new one this year.
Yeah. All right. Let's hit this first commercial, Clay, and then we're going to come back and talk some prairie dog harvesting.
Sounds good.
All right. The 701 is proud to be sponsored by Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. If you can't stop by, feel free to give them a call at 701-258-6308. Doug and the guys are ardent Second Amendment supporters and will always shoot straight with service and fair pricing. It's been a long winter with lots of snow, ice, and rough roads, so now's the time to get that alignment checked from the curb shots, potholes, and bumpy snow-covered roads. Summer will be here before you know it, so get that rig scheduled for an AC charge. Make sure and tell the guys at Lowry you heard the sponsored guns in the 701 and thank them for supporting and promoting our Second Amendment civil right. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota, 701-258-6308. Your North Dakota proud, patriotic auto repair service.
All right. Again, thanks to our sponsors, Lauer Auto Repair. I just can't say enough about Doug and the boys down there. I've had great service. Of course, Mandan Sporting Goods. And by the way, that video you did, I'm still hearing about that. That was awesome when you did the walkthrough.
That thing's damn near got 400 views on that. Man, I did cool. That. I didn't think he was going to do that, but I'm going to Lauer Friday after we do Todd's show and Mitchell in the morning there. I'm going to head down to Lauer and do an oil change on the old Son and doing tire rotation for me. So. All right, Clay. So, when do you want me to hit this video?
Hit this now, because we're going to start talking prairie dogs.
All right, so here we go. This is going to give you guys a little primer of what we're doing here.
Just over his back. All right. Yeah, that was a little bit. Does that look familiar there?
Yeah.
Should. When we went down, me and JD and Axe, we all went down in South Dakota and had a little fun that day.
Yeah, that's it. If anybody listening to a podcast, that's what you had a little line. You're probably like, what the hell's with the music? It's some prairie dog shooting. So
if you want to skip forward about 40 seconds. If you're
you can go check that out on our Facebook or gunsin701.com or YouTube. So
Lindell Heupel, she I shouldn't say that. Is that a she or a he?
No, that's a dude.
Okay.
Sorry, Lindell.
Sorry, Lindell. I never know, and I didn't know you. So he says, I shot my 40 caliber pistols last night. The place in Omaha was awesome. Their sign said faith and family. You got to love that. So
awesome.
Get out there. And I love the 40. Since I was in Omaha last night, shot the 40. Had fun. The range was so American. Their sign said faith, family, and freedom. Absolutely. Yep.
That's like a varmint repellent for leftists. When they see that, they won't go in there.
Yeah. So I'm going to let you start out with this because I think you're probably going to talk a little bit more about firearms.
Yeah.
I've got a few things with gear, and if you noticed in our clip there, that's kind of why I did that too. Is we were using a lot of the same gear that we're going to talk about. So
yeah. So I'm gonna kind of go over this. Is article from Wide Open Spaces here, and first thing I'm gonna just call BS on this first thing this guy says real quick. Other than that, I agree with him, but he was down. They were doing some hunting in Wyoming for big game, and well, they filled their tags right away, and all they had was Creedmoor, so they went down to the Walmart there and bought all the 6.5 ammo out, and it turned into a prairie dog shoot for him. And he says the Creedmoor is overkill for prairie dog shooting, which it probably is until you get into long range. And he says, still, we were pushing things, shooting from beyond 500 yards without sticks or bipods in severe crosswinds. Dude, I don't know your names, but I'm calling complete and total Bravo Sierra on that crap. You're shooting offhand at 500. I tell you what, I had a friend of mine come with once who said he shoots deer all the time on the run at 500 offhand. He couldn't even hit a prairie dog leaning over his bag at 100 yards. And so I'm calling this guy. There's no freaking way. If you can do that, feel free to send me an email there, jd@gunsinto701.com, and show me some video of you doing that.
In fact, come on out.
Thoroughly impressed. Yeah.
We'll make a star out of you.
So he kind of goes into with ranges here of what kind of firearm he would use it. So he goes inside a 100 rim fires chambered in 17 HMR, 22 meg, or even a 22, which I agree with. I had a 22.
I got it. I got a 22 meg.
Yeah, there you go. I'd love to see you hit one with that. We got to try that.
We might have to try it.
Yeah, the 17 for sure. I mean, that thing for sure. Wyatt's got his dialed in there. I need 200 yards. We were shooting him from the blind guy. He was hitting him. I think he's got that Savage semi-auto 822. And easy. Yeah, I've seen him without a bunch of wind. I mean, it's not quite as easy, but yeah, there you go.
This is a Savage. It's got the
Wyatt's is an auto loader.
Yeah, mine's a bolt action, but yeah, this is 17.
Yeah, those are awesome. I mean, and I mean 17s. I've never saw one of them things shoot bad, to be honest with you. There, at 22s, and I have mine. I could definitely, and when there wasn't much wind at 100 yards, I knew where to hold in my scope. I could hit them with that. Not offhand, like I'm not going to get crazy like this guy and claim it was offhand because it wasn't. But so. And for medium, he's saying, it's hard to beat the 223. I agree. And he's putting medium range at, out to 450, which I'm going to say 450 is long range. I'm going to go medium range up to probably 325, 350. I'm saying that's medium. Okay, maybe this guy's some freaking awesome.
I mean, it depends on your skill level.
If there's no wind, I'll say 400.
Like that day we were out, the wind was horrible. I was actually, after seeing our results, I was actually happy with what we did with the wind we were shooting in.
Yeah, I think, and I mean, I got one probably around 400, but it took me about 10 shots. So I
got an education on my Swift. I mean, I've never, I didn't even think about it until I started talking like David and some of these other long range shooters. So and they said it really can lift your bullet when you're shooting into the wind, and it did.
Yeah. So Clay, I forgot about this part. He says he can handle prairie dogs to 450 with the proper optics or good irons. All right, dude, I'm gonna call you out again. 450, you're gonna shoot a prairie dog with iron sights?
If you can, more power to you, but I'd have to see it.
I'm gonna say that's pure luck if you do that one.
I mean, I've shot a lot of open sights, and I mean,
a
prairie dog at 450 yards.
If you're gonna tell me you can shoot a gong, for sure, I'll believe that.
Mm-hmm.
I've done it, but a prairie dog, hey. Clay, one thing about shooting prairie dogs, no matter how good of a shot you think you are, your ass can get humbled real quick in the real world shooting prairie dogs. I don't care what you think you shoot.
This cup, this nice Lauer auto repair cup.
I mean, that's a pretty fat prairie dog.
That's
right there,
a big, mature, fat prairie dog. If you get the younger ones, I'm telling you guys, it's not a very big target.
Keith figures out. He bets that guy was a Marine.
Hey, don't let Keith fool you. He was a sniper. He actually was qualified sniper. So
I like Randy's comment. Everybody's a sniper when nobody's around. Yeah.
It's like I caught the biggest fish, but he got away.
Yeah. Just like in the bar every night when you've seen a deer, you must have been the biggest one we ever seen.
Biggest one.
Maybe that's bionic. I mean, I had 2020 till I was about 40. I'm 51 now, and Maybe them guys that shoot. I don't even know how big are them targets when they shoot down in Ohio there at the Army.
That depends on what you're on. Like when we were shooting long range at the clinics, when we shot the mile, that was a 4x4 foot piece of steel. Sounds like a big target until you start looking at it at a mile, 1,760 yards.
Yeah.
I hit it, but it took me a little while to get it dialed in and figure out how to do it. But once you did it, it was kind of fun. But I didn't do it with open sights.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah. And then he goes on to longer range, and he basically, his he's going to stick with something like a Rem 700 scoped, yeah, and then he's then he's definitely using the 6.5 Creedmoor and anything 450 plus. He says, "Oh man, I thought somebody that snipey would just stick with the 223." Yeah. And a few accessories are also helpful. He says range finders, shooting sticks. Nah, I'm even calling bullcrap on that. Shooting sticks aren't stable enough to shoot a small prairie dog for almost every single person at that range. There's no way. Bipod for prone shooting, which is true. I shoot prone almost all the time when I shoot prairie dog. I mean, you can lay down the P-dog crap, or you can carry around your shooting mat, whatever you want to do. And even a spotter doesn't hurt. Spotters are freaking. I think. Yeah, they are definitely. I mean, I'm gonna have just as much fun spotting and helping the shooter out as I do shooting them. Actually,
as we showed in that clip before we went into this, that was Axe sitting there shooting on the one side, and then you were actually spotting for him, and he missed. But you hollered out. I think you went over him. It happens. But I can tell you, a spotter, a good spotter, especially like we were shooting some horrible wind that day, makes a heck of a difference when you're trying to dial in on a dog. I mean,
yeah.
And that was not a very long, target. I suppose he was out there 150 yards when we were doing that. But 150 yards in that wind, that was a hell, and it was a crosswind on top.
I mean. What did we look at? It was like 27 with gusts to 38. Yeah, it sucked. I mean, we were lucky we got the footage we did. Actually, it was fun. Yeah. So he finished it off here on this article. He says, if there's any feature you need on one of these good varmint rifles, it's an excellent trigger. And I could not agree with him more. I think an excellent trigger is good on any. Like I said, my pistol I showed you here, it's an Apex. I think I actually put it in myself because Smith & Wesson, they got that weird trigger, that break, and it's not bad, but I mean this thing's like your freaking Chevy Tahoe High Country or something compared to the junkiest little
got an Escalade now.
It's sweet, and a good trigger will improve anybody's accuracy for sure. I mean, even if Trav's still listening, even on them scuzzy rattle trap AKs, you might instead of shooting a bucket group at 100, you might.
Well, I've got some Cmte triggers that I've installed on some guns, and I can tell you right now, triggers are everything.
Yep.
Well, not everything, but they are an important
big time help. Big time help.
I mean, I can't tell you what it is, how nice it is, and what it takes out of a gun when you don't have that heavy pull or all that creep. Yep. I mean, and it takes another element out of making you inaccurate.
There's another place because I love Ruger American rifles. And there's a place, it's called M Carbo in Florida. And you can buy them. They're like $12, a little spring. You can take your gun out of the stock and put this spring in there. And that'll make your trigger and these things down to about 2.5, 3 pounds. Worth every penny. If you love good triggers, go on M Carbo and get one of those. Love those things. I put them in any Ruger American.
And I will tell you this, and it goes hand in hand with the firearm. I think a good set of optics. You've got to have a good set of glasses.
Oh yeah.
Now.
Yeah, your 3x9x40. You get to about 100, 150 with that, but when they're out there at long range, you're gonna need something a lot better than that.
And it's got to be clear. It can't be junk. I know people can do it. Don't get me wrong. When I first started shooting, I didn't have no money, so I had a lot of Bushnells and a lot of junk like that. Trash goes and.
I never heard him called that.
Yeah, no. The best thing you can do with your Tasco is take it off your gun and then go bend it in half, like on your bumper, your receiver,
or put it on a BB gun,
or put it on a BB gun. I got no use for them.
Yeah,
but I
hear you.
And you can buy mid-range stuff. There's a lot of good mid-range stuff out there too. But if you are able to, spend the money and buy the op. You can make a mediocre gun shoot a little better by putting putting some time and money into it. You'll never make a crappy piece of glass be a good piece of glass. Not going to happen.
I mean, especially now the way the modern machine techniques with CNC machining has made cheap guns. That's why Ruger Americans are awesome. I mean, because most of them take AR-15 mags if you get the Predator or the Ranch, and things. Every one of the things I've ever shot is just lights out for the price you can pay for them. So
I brought props.
Okay, all right, good.
So here's something. If you don't know what this is, for those of you that listen on the podcast, basically this is a harness for your binoculars. You put it around your back, put it on your shoulders, and then it secures your binoculars right here on your chest, but gives you the mobility to grab that because of the elasticity in these harnesses. And they're not, I think when I remember I haven't bought one for a while, but I remember this was like $12 when I bought it. I mean, I've had it a while.
Yeah, they're more than that now. They're about 20, probably about 25 now. Joe's
and this is an Allen. So, and it's been good. There's all kinds of brands out there. To me, it's one of the most useful tools. I think if I remember right, you had a set on when we were down there shooting.
Oh yeah, must have any kind of hunting for sure.
It makes it frees up your hands, and they're right there. Boom. You don't have to fiddle around. I used them a lot when I was doing a lot of predator hunting. Loved them. I think it's an important piece of gear. Another thing, and
I would say if you're a rich mechanic,
I had this with me. I had my pack.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now I can put water and stuff in this one too, and I can tell you this, and this kind of goes into some of, and I'll go more into this when Jamie's finished talking about the guns, but get a good pack. You can put your ammo, you can put everything in there you need.
Yeah.
I usually keep some first aid stuff in it when I get ready. You never know. I mean, I don't drive around a dog town, if you noticed, and there's a reason for that. But
yeah, I mean, if it's a town that's never really been shot, you're gonna get away with that easy. You can do that. But yeah, like the backpacks, Clay. I mean, I had I bought one of the cheaper Midway ones, and it lasted all right. But now I did pay a lot more for one at Shields. I think it was a Red Rock or something. I mean, I think that thing was about $100, and it worked. It's awesome. That thing's
they're worth the money. They really are.
And I was going to say them. You had the binocular straps there. I mean, I said if you're a rich auto mechanic, then you can actually afford the binos with the rangefinder in them.
Yeah, that's right. I keep forgetting about that. Yeah, Doug, he's right.
Yeah, Clay, get some snake boots.
I tell you what, I've never killed more rattlesnakes in one little area hunting dogs.
Yeah,
than we did that day. And I mean, I've shot on a lot of prairie dog towns, but yeah, there's an issue there.
I've never paid much attention to the ground on a dog town, but around where we were there. So from now on, no matter where I'm going, I'm going to be looking a little more.
Eric, I can't hunt without my binoculars. Me neither. Binoculars are just, there are a lot of people that just use the scope on their gun, but I can tell you right now, not me. I'm going to use a good set and get a good set of binoculars, guys. I've got a pretty good set. Mine are the Bruntons, and Brunton I wasn't impressed with their scopes back in the day when they were producing optics, but I really enjoy their binoculars. They're good. The clarity is what sold me, even in the low light. And let's face it, unless you're shooting prairie dogs, if you're out hunting, you're in low light because you're either early in the morning or you're getting towards the end of the day, and there's a lot of low light, and that's where a good quality optic really stands out above the cheaper ones. But good binoculars, and you had your spotting scope out there.
Oh yeah. I got that actually for putting 20 years in where I work at Crown Dental. On my boss, and both of my bosses, a good friend of mine and his wife bought that for me, and the tripod and all that. And I had this, I got the phone scope on there. I do a lot of videos with that.
Yep.
And pictures of deer. But yeah, I mean, that spotting scope's freaking awesome. Even just for looking for prairie dogs, you can see them. It works awesome for that. Don't get a cheap one like Clay's. I mean, you might be tempted by some of them cheaper ones. Man, I had one. Once I got this better one, I just junked that thing pretty much.
Yeah. That's a Vortex, wasn't it?
Yeah. Vortex, man, 20 to 60 by 80 or something.
And Brandon Sporting could just chime in Vortex 15 to 56. Yeah, Vortex makes some good stuff. They do.
Mine's HD actually.
But yeah, a good spotting scope, good. And like I said, we went out together. We had some bags. I think we had bipods too. But like my pack, I've used my pack a lot of times if I need something for a little bit more stability.
Yeah.
I'll throw that pack up there and use it. But like I said,
Yeah, so I said the guy with the shooting stick. So I was just reading a comment there too. Kenny's calling BS on that guy. Yeah, I agree with you, Kenny. Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying you're not going to get lucky sometimes to hit one, but not offhand at 450 yards with heavy wind. No way, dude.
Here's Marty. When you come hunting with me, you're going to be hunting in no light conditions. I like it. I love it. That means we got to get thermal. There we go.
Yeah, you do.
Now there's something, but I don't think the doggies come out at night. I noticed on them dog towns when it gets when it's starting to get dark, they go down.
That's for Marty's raccoon. That's for Marty's raccoon hunting there.
Yeah.
So this other guy's got Clay use a suppressor, and he figures this thing can help keep most of them out of their holes, even when you miss. This is from Area 51 Sports. Nah, I'm sorry. I've done it with suppressors too. It doesn't keep, man. It doesn't, in my opinion, that doesn't keep them up. What did keep them up is when I first went down with Clayton and there was a tree road and he's like, we're going to sneak around here. And I was like, all right, well, the guy think we're deer hunting or something?
We're going to lead into that. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah. We got in there and we didn't have suppressors, Clay.
Not then we didn't.
Clay was right on the money with that because we sat there all day nailing these things and they didn't have a damn clue.
In fact, that's a good lead in. I think Jamie thought I was crazy when I said, well, we're going to park in the yard, wear your camo, blend in, act like you're hunting them. And I know I was just like, I don't think too many people do that. And we parked in the yard there at that Tomac place and we walked all the way through them dead trees and into the right side in the fence line. The grass was kind of high there. And I mean, we sat there, no suppressors, but we were cameled up. We were pretty hidden.
Yep.
And we sat and shot all day long from that position.
Crushed
and there wasn't much wind. I mean, we just killed dog after. Guys, you got to remember, there's like literally two sections of dogs there. That's way too many, by the way.
Yeah. They were way out there, but I mean, we were having a good time in 250 and in. So,
and that's why when we talk about gear and things for hunting prairie dogs, one of my things is tactics. I know that sounds stupid, but I'm telling you right now, if you go to a town that hasn't been shot at much, you can probably drive around and stop and shoot dogs and get a lot of shooting in. But I'm telling you right now, especially if you're hunting public land where they get shot at a lot, concealment is more important than even the noise.
Yeah, don't high point yourself. It's like any other kind of hunting.
Yep, act like you're hunting them. Get in there, sneak in. Don't skyline yourself. If you can stay concealed, you'll be able to shoot dogs. They'll hear it. They won't know where it's coming from, and they won't. I mean, they're going to go down initially, but they're going to come right back up. But they don't go down like they do if they see you. And I mean, like I said, Jamie and I sat there all day, all afternoon until we're getting low on ammo and it was getting dark. It was time to go. That was just, and we didn't even have no cameras in. It was a different time then. But oh my goodness, what a good time that was.
Yeah, it was. Yep. So should we let's hit our triple commercial here, Clay. We're at 750. So
yep. And I'm gonna add one more. I don't know if we're gonna go on to the Illinois thing, right?
Yes, sir.
So I want to add a couple other things here when to think about when you're going prairie dog shooting. A good, comfortable pair of boots, whatever you hunt in when you go out, wear those. Because I'm telling you right now, if you do it right, you're going to be walking. You should. You're going to get a lot more shooting. Sunscreen, guys. It's summertime.
Yep.
Put some sunscreen on. Take it with you. Bug repellent, things like that. This thing people don't really usually think about. I even like to sometimes have a poncho in my pack. I have been out there and I've been a long ways from the vehicle and I don't like walking back in the rain. So if it does start to rain, have a little rain gear with you. Hearing protection. We had our muffs on. I wouldn't go anywhere without hearing protection, especially on a dog town, guys. It's repetitious. You got to have something to hydrate yourself with. That's pretty important too. I mean, just use your head. Be logical about what you're doing, and you're gonna have a good time. A lot of shooting in, and you'll be able to hone your skills up. Just think about it a little bit. Don't just drive out and go, I'm going to go shoot some prairie dogs and take nothing with you but a gun and a little extra ammo, because you're gonna be very disappointed,
Yeah.
honestly.
I would also say, add to that, Clay, if you use anything with an AR-15 mag, you get them tack vests for like $35.
Yep.
Put them on. You're gonna hold like 4 or 5 extra mags, and if you prone out, a lot of people. Buddy of mine, Derek Placek, told me this a long time ago, and I've been doing it ever since. Go buy the neoprene elbow pads. If you get down and the prairie dogs eat that grass down in the dirt, and your elbows are grinding into that all day, when you get down, your elbows will get sore. Ever since I've used them, I haven't had a problem with them. So.
And you're right, Kenny. I had one out there. I don't know if you remember that day.
I got a nice shooting mat too.
I had my shooting mat with me, and yeah, you're right. It's just, whether it's cactus or not, you get like down there was cactus, but you go to a couple of these other
places. Throw it over that rattlesnake and lay on.
It was like a bomb went off. We
good cooler. Yeah, we had pretty good coolers, Doug.
So yeah. All right. Eric puts out one more thing there. He says, "Go in before sunrise and ambush them." That's what we do in full camo. I know, and some people don't believe you when you tell them this. They're like, "Really?" I go, "I'm not kidding, guys. If you hunt them, you'll have a lot."
I'm gonna just sleep into like noon and then get down there about 3 o'clock. And
Randy, and before we go to break, Randy says, "Yep, Marty, I heard a guy choked out a mountain lion."
All right. Let's hit this commercial. We're going to come back with the Illinois bans semi-autos for hunting on their public land. We'll be right back. The 701 is proud to be sponsored by Lauer Auto Repair, located at 309 South Washington Street in Bismarck, North Dakota. If you can't stop by, feel free to give them a call at 701-258-6308. Doug and the guys are ardent Second Amendment supporters and will always shoot straight with service and fair pricing. It's been a long winter with lots of snow, ice, and rough roads. So now's the time to get that alignment checked from the curb shots, potholes, and bumpy snow-covered roads. Summer will be here before you know it, so get that rig scheduled for an AC charge. Make sure and tell the guys at Lowry you heard the sponsored Guns in the 701 and thank them for supporting and promoting our Second Amendment civil right. That's Lauer Auto Repair, 309 South Washington Street, Bismarck, North Dakota, 701-258-6308. Your North Dakota proud, patriotic auto repair service.
Guns in the 701 is sponsored by the Blind Guy of North Dakota. For all your custom window coverings, you can contact them at 701-222-3932. They're freedom-minded, they're patriotic, and they love the Second Amendment. This husband-wife team was born and raised right here in North Dakota and based out of Bismarck. Again, for your Second Amendment company, for all your custom window coverings, the Blind Guy of North Dakota, 701-222-3932, or visit them on the web at blindguynd.com.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
All right.
We're
back. Thanks to our sponsors, Lauer Auto Repair, down there on South Washington. Of course, the Blind Guy, North Dakota, 701-222-3933. And Mandan Sporting Goods, 701-751-1026. I like to read those off for those of you guys that are downloading the podcast and not seeing those ads. So, I and one thing, hey Brandon, I don't know, them prices look pretty good. We might have to update that commercial.
You
come in there and shoot one for you.
I sent you that text from Brandon. I forwarded to you, Clay. I don't know if you got that or not.
I must not have.
But I would also say you guys go in there and patronize our sponsors. Make sure and tell them you heard it on Guns in the 701. So they know their sponsorship dollars are actually doing some good for them and for us, helping each other out here.
Absolutely. So before we move on to the Illinois thing here, I'm going to throw this out here. You saw that we had the new stickers, and those are going to be $5. You can get a hold of Jamie. We got some new caps that are coming.
And hopefully we're going to have Clay and I are going to talk to a gal here next couple of days, and she's going to try and get our payment thing set up on her. So
Yes.
hopefully by next
Hopefully.
Wednesday when you guys come back on, we can tell you can buy stuff right off our website. Go ahead, Clayton.
Well, these are basically like the neon green with a gray front, and it's got the Guns and 701 logo patch up there with a black and silver lettering. It's real nice. Now these caps are going to be a little bit more than our last ones because they costed a little more. So we're looking at $30 a cap, but they're high quality, and I think you guys are going to like them. These are a snapback. No, they're not the flat bill. I suppose you could flatten them out if you want to.
Country gangster.
Yeah, but anyway, and we ordered those, so that's just a sampling of them. Here are the ones. These are the gray with the black background. They're again a snapback one. Nice looking hat.
What's snapback? Oh, you mean just like the? Okay, never
just
mind.
got
Go ahead. Go ahead, Clay. I'm sorry.
Got the plastic tabs where you can adjust them.
Yeah.
We're gonna also have patches here. We're gonna have these for sale. Forget what were them gonna be. The caps are gonna be $30, I believe.
I don't think we worked on the.
Oh, I know. These were $10 because they're an actual leather patch.
Yeah.
They're laser engraved with Guns in the 701, the retro logo, and then our website on them. We have the brown with black lettering. We have the black with the gold. Those turned out, I just really like those. They look real good. And then we got the black with the silver. So we're going to have them all available. We don't have them in hand yet, but they're finished. Should be picking them up this week. And hopefully, yeah, like you said, by next week, you can go online and actually start ordering them there. Or again, if you know me or you know Jamie, just text us. Otherwise, you can reach both of us. Clay at gunsinthe701.com or JD at gunsinthe701.com, and we'll sell some gear to you and some merch, and of course it goes to help us out keep the show running.
Hey, Randy said we need every state should have an organized Melissa, private, not state run, mind you. Hey, Randy, I think I might get that next decal of mine here, 701 militia right inside that North Dakota. Hey, Brandon said, hey, here you go, Brandon, man down sporting goods, 10% off if they tell me that I heard it on Guns in the 701. Yeah, perfect. Baby.
Thank you, Brandon.
They come for me too.
So there you go.
Thanks,
10%
Brandon.
off
That's awesome,
at Mandan Sporting Goods. If you come in there and tell them you heard it on Guns of the 701, you get 10% off. So
that's
go
awesome.
in there and patronize a guy that absolutely, I know Brandon is 100% American. He loves this country. He loves the Second Amendment. You ain't gonna find a better shopper, a better guy to do business with, and you know that he's behind everything that we stand for. So
you get some coffee and cookies in there too. You go in there,
and you got to talk to Joe while you're in there.
Yeah, Kenny says you can't wait for us to show off our 701 tats.
Oh my good, Eric's got the camel.
Oh yeah. Clay's got the camel one on. I got
it's like the one I'm wearing tonight. It's got the kind of the brown duck stuff up front, and then it's camel all the way around. We're getting some more of them. I actually just placed the order for themselves, and then we'll get the patches put on them, Eric. So we will have them. And Eric, you know them good enough. I'll get one to you. So
I ordered some other ones. They're kind of like this. I got this blind guy hat. You can see it, kind of that military camel. It's on the back's just mesh, and we're gonna have that patch right on the front. Hopefully, we're working with the guy up here to get them sewn on. So,
and we still have T-shirts. Jamie's got a few left up there. I got a few.
And I got to talk to Clay. I got some guys interested in some hoodies too, Clayton.
By the way, if you can't see this, I can do this logo too if you're interested. We didn't do that on the T-shirts, but we can do them. That's the newer one that looks like the signs that are behind us. I think it's nice. That's why I wore this tonight. I thought, I want to see something different. There we go.
I want to eat them. Yeah.
Right.
Hey, yeah, that's right. Brian sent me that pic. I forgot all about that, Brian. I'm sorry. He picked up a Rossi Pump 22 on Saturday at Mandan Sporting Goods.
Awesome. Yeah. Glad you went in there. Glad you're supporting our sponsors because, like I said, we can't do it without them. So so Cheech, you know my buddy Cheech. He sent this to me. There we go. Right there.
Sweet.
He went down to Nebraska. That's his dad with him, and they harvested a buffalo. So he got a big Tatanka.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That rifle he was using, that was his dad's rifle. So
sweet.
Kind of a little bit of history there, doing what they were doing. Cheech is a good friend of mine with North Dakota Farm Bureau. So yeah, congratulations on a great hunt.
Yeah, absolutely. Anytime you can hunt with your dad, it's good times too. You get good memories from that. So.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, Clay,
right.
you want to hit it on this Illinois semi-auto ban? You want to lead off on this one?
Yeah, so this I'll tell you how this come about, guys. We were asked if we knew anything about a ban on ARs or quote assault weapons on public land, and I hadn't heard anything. I went ahead and did
I
a
didn't either.
search. So here's what I found in my search, and then we finally got the link. David actually sent it to us.
Yep.
There from 1760 Sports. I actually found it was actually very troubling to see how many times this has been introduced in Congress in committees and it died.
Mm-hmm.
So you got the U.S. Forest Service, BLM, all these governmental agencies at the federal level have actually considered this. They're basically banning assault weapons, as they call them. They didn't define them either, by the way. Primarily, they were targeting the AR-15. But that was not the only firearm that could be classified under this assault weapons ban, much like this deal we're going to talk about in Illinois. Luckily, nothing ever came about it. It either got killed in committee or even when they were going to propose a regulation, they got so much feedback from the public that they decided it was a dumb idea. So just keep that in mind. They're thinking about even at the federal level. So all you people that love the fact the feds have all this public land that you can go hunt on, well, maybe. You might be able to hunt on it. Someday you might be down to just a crossbow or a single shot or a 22 or a shotgun because they have considered this at the federal level. It just didn't go anywhere. So keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So here's what we found out in Illinois. And I didn't realize that this was something. It was called the Protect Illinois.
Oh, yeah. I remember when
Communities
this
Act.
passed. Yep.
And it's been in effect, it looks like, since 2021, 22? Something like that. I don't even really know. I know that
No, this is the one they just passed here.
Oh,
Clay, that Pritzker and they got the House and Senate there. So
maybe that was some other things they were talking about. They tried beforehand.
Yep.
But anyway, the Protect Illinois Community Act, and it was signed by the governor. Okay, it was signed by the governor last year, so it was signed last year. Must go into effect this year. It's going to impact your ability to buy and use an assault weapon. But now officials say that the law will apply to certain shotguns. Who would have thought that, right? They have Illinois has 294 public hunting acres covering 294 public hunting areas covering 700,000 acres of land. And as of Monday, of course, this was a little bit dated. There is a common gun that's being used in Illinois that now will be illegal. Any shotgun that has the capability of adding an extended magazine is also banned. That's almost every single one of them.
Right.
You could have one with 3 shells, but if it has a capacity or a capability of adding an extension to that magazine, which could be the tube, and it could hold up to 8 to 13 shells, which I like how that's a lot of shotgun shells. It's not. That will make them illegal under the way the new law is written. And this is the president of the Illinois Federation of Outdoors Resources stated on that. You know, I'm sure nobody except the Democrats and those that hate guns probably thought about that. But it definitely is something that they didn't.
Well, you don't. If you get a shotgun, Clay, get a double barrel. You don't need all.
That's all you need. Just need 2 shots. Right?
Joe told you, if somebody's at your door, just stick it up there and blow 2 holes through your door.
That's right. Just touch them both off. Anyway, he goes, we don't want people breaking the law, not knowing what the law is, and then being charged with a felony, because once you're charged with a felony, and if you're convicted of it, you can no longer own a firearm, period, Bryant said. And in a lot of cases, that's true. It depends on the felony, but I imagine with that one, it would be. There's a guy here. He says he hunts. He's a plastic surgeon or recreational hunter. This was in the article. He hunts on private property, but says that this will make a big splash for those that use public land. It's a really bad idea. He said it's not going to do anything, and all it's going to do is make everybody mad. Everybody who's accessing public land to participate in hunting activities, those are the guys who buy the licenses. You know, they hunt there all the time. And I'll add to this. They're the ones that buy the licenses. And from those license fees, they're the ones that are supporting the upkeep and the management of that land. And then they're going to be told, sorry, you can't use this. So the Department of Natural Resources, they sent out a statement saying this. The Protect Illinois Communities Act banning assault weapons creates an exemption. We'll see. For possession of weapons used for hunting as permitted by the Wildlife Code. to determine whether it is legal to bring a weapon, I like how they always refer to it as
A weapon. Yeah.
on public lands to hunt, you must be in full compliance with the wildlife code and the administrative rules for the hunting activity that you are engaged in. The Illinois Department of Natural Resources is working with Illinois State Police to put together a list of weapons permitted to be used under
good.
the wildlife code. Well, gee, glad they're doing that. Under the Protect Illinois Communities Act, this list must be finished by October 1st, 2023. Even though the list is not completed at this time, it is important to emphasize that the exemption from the assault weapons law is tied to the wildlife code, and that code has not been changed by this act.
So just
If
take
it
a
was-
chance and go hunt with it, Clay. See what happens.
Yeah, see what
Catch ya.
happens. And so I did do a little digging. I went on there and read a lot of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like anything else. It's not exactly clear. I can see where this would be a real problem if you're a hunter in Illinois. Of course, I don't know why you haven't picked up and left that communist state, but whatever.
You missed a good part here, Clay.
What's
You
that?
missed a good part. Officials say if you owned one of these guns before the law passed last year, you're grandfathered in. Yeah, but guess what? You still need to register your gun to keep it.
Yeah, and they have a
So,
little special
in
license
one-
for that too.
At the beginning, they're telling you this law passed. If it can take an extended magazine, it's an assault weapon and you can't hunt with it. And then these guys are telling you you can. So that's what I'm saying. There's no damn way I'd go hunting with it, because if they catch you with it, and like the guy said up here, they catch you with the damn thing, you're a felon and convicted, you can no longer own a firearm, period. They take away your Second Amendment rights.
Yeah, exactly.
And I mean, here's my conspiracy. I think they like this kind of crap. Just think how many of these guys we can get and they can never own freaking guns again. You know what I mean?
They love the idea that this.
Well, you said right here, I can hunt with you. Yeah, but the list wasn't complete till October 1st.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, you take like out here. You can.
By the way, you
shooting
didn't register
grouse.
it, hand it over.
Yeah, you didn't register your gun
Register.
and get your FOID card. If you don't know what that is, go look up FOID.
FOI card. FOI.
Firearm owner's ID card, and that's a thing you have to have in Illinois because it's a communist
Lynette's
state.
totally lost in the rules. I know, Lynette. I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
Hey, Randy.
Update. I got to give an update.
Yep.
Eric says the steer is quartered and hung up the cool. That's my happy ending for a steer that was being a pain in the gluteus
Oh,
maximus.
I love it.
Nice job, Eric. Well, now hopefully you're not. I know you like Corona, but I understand Corona's part of that company that does Bud Light. So,
Hey, Randy, you swing
hopefully
into
you stay
the
manly.
swing into the lab. I'll bring in a pile of Cmte 701 stickers. You can take one or two, whatever you want, buddy. So he's going to put it right up next to his NRA Life member sticker. You're a great American, my friend. Speaking of that, Clay, NRA, what was a big crowd there? So let's just blow right into our bullet points here, should we?
Oh, great! You picked that one. Go ahead. You go with it.
I didn't pick it. I just kind of, if that was yours, man.
Nope. I got other ones.
So everybody, the NRA is dying. We're losing. They're not. They're not. Much to the chagrin of people who don't like the NRA. You're dumb. You're dumb if you want them gone. Anyways, massive turnout in Illinois and Indiana. 77,246,000 people gathered there. Sold out motel rooms. I don't remember how many million they said that they made from that. It was freaking awesome.
Huge economic boom.
Even the people, Clay, I listened to some NRA, to some podcasts that these guys are anti-NRA, and they're like, man, I gotta admit it looks like the NRA is coming back hardcore. So, and they said it was great. They said it was great, and they had fun there, and it was awesome. So hopefully these guys that are anti-NRA, I'll admit the NRA kind of did some goofy things there. I never was going to give up on them, but man, they're coming back hard, and believe me, we need the NRA if we want to keep our Second Amendment rights here. So don't be one of these guys. These guys, I'm not going to go on a rabbit trail because I'm bullet points. But.
Hey, David chimed in. David, we were talking about you earlier. We just covered your Illinois public land ban or public hunting land ban on ARs and assault weapons, not necessarily ARs. But yeah, so it was a good discussion. So yeah, no,
I do
NRA,
have another bullet point, Clay, but what do you got?
I'd say NRA had a very, very successful annual meeting, the way it sounded.
Awesome.
It was an economic boom.
Great speakers.
To the Indiana area there where they held
We actually covered some of the speakers on Monday in the crosshairs with JD and Clay, with host Jay Dillon. Clay actually put the video of that up on our YouTube channel, right, Clayton?
Yeah, I think it is up there. I believe.
Yeah, it's about 20 minutes. Clay
yep.
had some technical
Oh,
difficulties right away, but
I don't know what happened there. I mean, I got on, I logged into everything here. It was working, and then I did it tonight. It was working. I think it was on their end, and of course, I couldn't fix anything. They use Zoom when they bring us into that, and I hate that.
yeah,
Zoom just isn't a good platform as far as I'm concerned. But
no.
so a couple things with. Go ahead if you want to do another one. Otherwise, I got a couple.
Yeah,
too.
so this is kind of, I was on the treadmill the other night, and I saw this going through the channels, and I was like, hey, what's this I'll watch? It was like a World War II, Hitler's last days or something, but it was kind of a reenactment, a modern reenactment, and then they were they'd go through the guns and show the schematic. I don't know if you can see that, Clay.
Oh,
BAR, Browning automatic. So I was like, oh yeah, BAR, baby.
You like
and then Clay, I'll tie this in with that comment we had on YouTube. So I did a little PSA out at Doug's on Sunday of what difference between a clip and a magazine, and some guy come on there. All right, dude, that's so old. Everybody knows about that. Try being so Clay. I'm going to show you this picture. Here's what they said. Goes in the bottom of a BAR. Can you read that, Clay?
I can't read it. No.
A 20 round, and their schematic of it, their fancy Nat Geo, all their big computers, a 20 round clip is what the BAR accepts.
A real clip.
Yeah. Sorry, Nat Geo. That would be a magazine, not a clip.
Yeah. and I watch shows all the time where they call them clips mags and actually call mags clips, and it's like, really? I mean, you can't get the common terminology down, the correct terminology.
A fast way to say it is a clip feeds a magazine feeds a rifle. So
there you go. So,
that's all I get. Oh, God dang it, Clay. One more thing. I hate to cut you. If you get anybody listening who's on Facebook, I'll tell you what, we got a poll on there. Clay and I are going to start doing a weekly poll. We're going to do the results on in the crosshairs on Monday. And this particular poll, Clayton, the question is, do you believe the North Dakota legislature has our back concerning Second Amendment rights? We got 40, what do we got here? 40 votes on the nose here, and one answer is dominating, but I would encourage you guys all to get back on there, get on Facebook, and it's right on the top of our page here on our features, right next to our great patriotic sponsors, and take the poll. I think I actually got it on my regular Facebook page too, if you're friends with me on Jamie Brecht, but yeah, take that poll, guys. We want as many people answering this as we can. We're gonna give the final results on, like I said, in the crosshairs. Next Wednesday, we'll let you know as well. But I think every week, Clay, we might do a Facebook poll, right? I think about doing that.
Yep. Hey, Randy, he pointed out treadmill with a beer.
That's right, Randy. Somebody's got to do it.
I had to reply. You probably was drinking a pickle beer from one of my sponsors.
No, I had those from Brandon there. Man, they tasted good, but man, they gave me a headache. So I had two left. I gave them to Dougie. We're gonna see what his review was. Like I said, the review is they tasted good, tasted like pickles. But man, next day my head wasn't feeling so good. Lynette said she couldn't get it to work. The poll or.
What's that?
She said she couldn't get it to work. I don't know if she's talking about our poll on Facebook.
Oh, I don't know. I did go vote. Last time I looked at it, the no's were leading, but it's been a while. David puts on there. Everyone knows magazines have words, clips have bullets. Like it.
Yep. So, all right, Clay, we got that going, or are we done with the bullet points here?
I'll tell you what. I got a couple here. I'll do. We got.
Okay.
I thought I had to put this out here. Hobbs, Governor Hobbs. She's the one that assumed the position of governor in Arizona, and I do believe that after seeing everything, I mean, it's still going through the court system. I don't think she's the legitimate governor, but she's a coward and a Democrat. And a communist. She vetoed a school safety measure. Basically, they passed a series of these in Arizona. And being we're on a bullet point, I'm not going to go into details on this, but they passed HB 2332, which would have set up a firearms safety education program for grades 6 through 12. And Senate Bill 1331 in Arizona would have allowed Arizonans to carry concealed licenses to lawfully bring their firearms to campuses. Well, what did she do? She vetoed them. Of course, no surprise. She's a leftist communist. But she couldn't just veto it. She says, given the increasing concern over safety of schools, the legislature intends that children in this state receive instruction about firearms from qualified individuals with a focus on safety rather than from popular culture in various forms of media. The House bill's legislative intent stated. Oh, sorry, I'm reading it wrong, but that's what they wanted it. Her actual veto basically says mandatory firearm safety training in schools is not the solution to gun violence prevention. And she added that the proposed course could lead to immediate and long-term impacts on the health and well-being of students, teachers, and parents. I'm not sure what the heck the Democrat governor is talking about, the writer says, but given the scope of the proposed instruction, it doesn't surprise anybody because she's a Democrat communist.
Wait a minute, Clay. I thought Democrats wanted gun safety training for everybody to be mandatory.
Only theirs.
Oh, so they're
Only
actually full
theirs.
of complete freaking shite.
Pretty much.
Shocker.
So, she vetoed this, and then she directed the Arizona legislature to bring her gun control bills that she would sign. That's her idea of gun safety. Just ban them.
You mean the things that
Altogether.
have been proven to be miserable failures since the early 90s?
Absolutely. That's
Okay.
the way to do that when you're a Democrat.
Guess what?
It's
You're
been
not
a
treading
failure.
hard enough.
You double down on it. You ban them from law-abiding citizens, and then the criminals don't care. They just walk in there and do it anyway. Oh, we've already seen that, haven't we?
Good, tread harder, Daddy.
And one other quick one. We talked about the devastating winter that took place, not just in the Dakotas, but Wyoming was giving us a lot of information out there. I know we covered this on In the Crosshairs as well as on Pods. Well, I got an update for you. The Wyoming Game and Fish Department, they offered 41,145 antelope tags in the 2022 season. This year, though, it's going to be about anywhere from 30 to 10,000 fewer tags will be available for a limited quota drawing in the fall hunting season. They're actually cutting them back because of the devastation in the winter kill. So they basically used their heads and said, listen, we got a lot of antelope that died off in the state. They're going to cut tags. Some people were calling for an all-out closure of the season. It didn't happen. Kind of sounds like the outfitters were the ones kind of fighting that, I suppose, because it would have hurt their revenues.
Sure.
But, that's neither here or there. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
But at least they took the action to cut the actual tags. And I really hope that when we see North Dakota's tag numbers come out in a lot of different species, I hope they're cut as well. Because
we'll find out shortly, because they said today on there that when Daryl had on the game and fish guy in the afternoon, that they're doing the survey's over, but they're doing their evaluations. Actually, hey guys, I know it doesn't seem like it, but probably in 2 weeks from probably today, actually, the applications are going to be out online probably.
Good deal. And I got to add one more little tidbit. It kind of piggybacks after the P-dog harvesting.
Yeah.
So
kind of header you use on a combine for that anyway.
Yeah. So Donald Trump Jr. here in about 2017-18, if I remember right, he actually went prairie dog shooting in Montana on Earth Day. And I thought, and he did it on purpose. So Earth Day is April 22nd. So I would like to encourage everybody, go out there and kill something, a prairie dog, a coyote, go out and do a little hunting. I personally might go out there and just start my diesel and let it run just for fun on Earth Day. I don't believe in Earth Day. I think every day that I'm on my place, it's Earth Day, I guess, because I don't take care of the land. It's not.
Nope, you hate it. You have no respect.
I have no respect, do I? Yeah. And I won't be able to use it for production if I don't take care of it. And I do a better job than any government entity or any on a worldwide day, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
If they really cared about it, they'd actually take a look at real things and get the hell out of people's ways and let them manage things. So anyway, that's all I have to say. Go out on Earth Day, do a little hunting, send some lead downrange.
I'm actually going to be going back to Golden Valley this Saturday. I got to deliver Serena's deer mount there. Looks awesome. You guys haven't seen that. I posted the picture back in November. Her and her husband own the saddle store there in Golden Valley. Brought her deer back and the antlers and the hide and got it mounted. Ricken looks awesome. Go check out the picture on our Facebook page, and they got a spot for it picked out in the bar already. So maybe I'll have a little video of them hanging it up in there, and hey, first mule deer she ever shot. Hell of a first deer. I mean, hell of a deer for anybody really. Unless you're a big super trophy hunter, but yeah. So I tell you what, I didn't know that was Earth Day. I'm gonna go be looking for some beavers and porcupines out there mowing down on our trees. So
Kevin says he's got some groundhogs to get rid of.
Yeah, Kevin, get some videos of that, buddy. Make sure they're half clear and send them to us. I'll guarantee you, we'll put them up on our YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, and absolutely, man, we love that.
David, he says low count speed goats. Got to be looking in the wrong place. I see them everywhere today, but
down by Clay, there's a bunch of them.
I mean, there's a few I've seen them.
I was kidding.
I can tell you right now, they're not what they were. But I've really noticed the whitetails took a hit, and so did the pheasants. I had a lot of pheasants. I seen all them pheasants moving in the yard, and now it don't look so good. Yeah, you know.
Sorry, whitetail snobs and mule deer going. We taking over, baby.
Mule deer? I've seen a ton of them. So
yeah,
I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, I like that. I'm sorry if you don't like mule deer. Bad news for you.
Hey, I finally got a really nice one last year, and Eric's got it. So as soon as that's done, I'll definitely get you some pictures of it.
Yeah, awesome, man.
Well,
all right, man, we're gonna do. Here we go. You know what this music is? We're gonna hit this and then do a little a couple minutes of promotion. So hang on.
All right.
Yeah, that's our happy ending story music. That's our theme. So this week's happy endings coming to us from Cold Spring, Texas. The shop owner, who had only purchased his business 9 months prior to this incident, was asleep in the back room when he was awoke at 5:45 a.m. to the sound of a person inside the closed store. When the owner exited the back room armed with his 9mm lung blower handgun, he saw the burglar and told police the man attempted to move toward him, prompting him to fire. He shot one round, hitting the thief and incapacitating him. Police and EMS were called to the scene, and they transported the wounded suspect to a hospital where he later died. Hey, buddy, don't rob somebody's business and you'd still be breathing.
That's right. The assumed room temperature.
Yeah, that was on March 8th, 2023 from ABC 13 in Cold Spring, Texas. Nice going business owner. You're a great American. Thank God you had a 9mm to protect yourself.
A Biden lung blower.
Yep, you had the lung blower. Looks like it worked. Perfect.
Well, hey, why don't you tell everybody what we got coming up here on Friday on Mitchell in the Morning?
Yeah, so like I said earlier in the show, coming up on Todd Mitchell, Mitchell in the Morning. 7:40 a.m. Mountain, 8:40 a.m. Central. We're going to be talking about this Chinese Norinco CQ M311 AR-15 that I didn't think existed, but it did. And some guy who calls into the radio show thinks they're using all these mass shootings. They're not. We're going to give you some background on this thing. It should be pretty good. And I think, Clayton, after that, I don't know if we're going to get all three in, but I think we're going to talk about this study. What scares deer more, the sound of wolves, mountain lions, coyotes, or people, or any other wild animals? The Outdoor Life did a study on this with a game camera and playing sound, so we're going to do that. And if we get to it, if not, I definitely want to do this one Monday. Mark Kelly, senator from Arizona, talking about all this other stuff we can do for gun safety yet. A bunch of ridiculous stuff. And the reason I'd like to bring that up is because he and his wife were here about 10 years ago over to Kroll's. Great patriot, great American, fan and friend of the show, Marty Beard. Him and I, Marty's nephew, and a couple other guys went over there. And hey, I'll give you a little background story on it. It was pretty fun. A thing actually ended up in the Washington Times that he come out of there and run us off like he was some big bull in a china shop. Total comedy. But yeah, he's got a bunch of stuff he thinks is going to be common sense gun control. You know, he was all quiet and zipped up about a big gun over there when his election was up. Arizona, I don't know what the hell happened. Their Senate races, their governor, but you know, their House and their state Senate and House Republican controlled. So
Maricopa County. I mean, that's the biggest problem in Arizona. It's there's a mess there in that county. And They're seeing it too. I mean, there's now hard evidence that's been submitted in court. But anyway, that's a whole other rabbit hole to go down.
So yeah, so Monday, Clay, everybody's looking for us. Where can they get us on Monday?
What's that?
So Monday, where can everybody find us on Monday?
You can find us every Monday at 11:30 Mountain, 12:30 Central on In the Crosshairs with JD and Clay, hosted by Jay Dillon on KFYR Plus. That's the KFYRTV.com streaming service. And we got a good show. I know we're gonna be covering the poll. We want to bring back the poll.
We're gonna get the results of the poll for sure.
We usually give you a little bit of preview of what we're going to be talking about on Wednesday's show next week. And honestly, it's kind of cool. Jay's been bringing in some of his own subjects. So I enjoyed that last week.
Yeah, Jay's getting after it, man. He's awesome. Jay's an awesome host on there. He's real good at that. I love that. It's just fun being on there. It's fun being on with Todd too. I love it. You know, everything's going great.
And that's actually on KFYR 550 AM radio. So just so everyone knows, the Friday show is the radio show. And the Monday show is the TV show there.
Not TV. It's on the live stream, KFYRplus.com, when you got to click watch live. It's not.
Yes.
So yeah, you can catch us on there. And I actually think we're getting more people kind of probably watching that than or at least coming up even with us on here. So
yeah, no, I've seen that too. So that's good to hear.
And if you miss anything on here, like I said, catch us on iHeart. You can catch the podcast on iHeart or any other podcast platform you listen to. I mean, why would you do anything other than iHeart? But whatever you want to do. And yeah, you can watch Clay. Clay's got some video work he does, and he gets our appearances on Todd's show and on Jay's show, and he gets it up on YouTube and on our Facebook page and our website, www.gunsinthe701.com. So check.
Hopefully we have our merchandise page up and running. Hopefully by next week.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, we're going to work on that. I still haven't got the thing where Facebook's supposed to pay us worked out yet.
That's a whole nother.
Yeah. So other than that, Clay, I think I'm about done yapping for tonight. I'm looking forward to Friday and talking to you with Todd.
Sounds good. So everybody have a great rest of the week. Weather's going to get a little chillier, but I think for the most part, winter's over. It isn't going to last long. If you see snow, I don't think it's going to last long on the ground. We're about done calving, so I'm looking forward to rest of the great. We're going to actually work some calves on Saturday with the neighbors, so we'll see how that goes in the cold. But
that's a great comment, Kenny. I don't know if we want to read that one, but it's.
I can put it up there.
Well, Kenny, I can tell you what. The person who did that was one of her supporters from her same side of the aisle. So, and everything she was pushing up here wouldn't have stopped the damn thing.
Gaffy Giver, when she got killed or not killed, got shot.
Wow, you're getting ahead of yourself.
I'm getting ahead of myself. She, I mean, it was another mentally ill Democrat.
Yeah, he was a supporter of hers, Jared Lee Loeffner. That was his name.
I actually was in Fargo when that happened at an NRA event that we were getting ready to do. So. All right. Well, everybody, again, don't miss out on Friday morning again at 11:30, or sorry, at 7:30 Mountain Time, 8:30 Central Time. I don't know.
7:40 Mountain, 8:40 Central, 5:50 a.m. KFYR Radio. Todd Mitchell in the morning, and every Monday KFYR live stream, KFYRplus.com. That's at 11:30 a.m. Mountain, 12:30 p.m. Central. And until then,
keep your powder dry. Catch you guys.